What's going on, family? This is Shabaka Stone here, bringing a little bit of yoga today. I haven't posted nothing about yoga in a little while, so let's get into it. First off, I want to go ahead and explain my yogi background and how do I even know about yoga. Well, first, I got into yoga at 19 years old after I graduated high school. My mom, she was actually doing a yoga teacher instructing course, and I was eventually able to get into this course myself at 19 years old. Um, I learned a lot, but at the time I was just 19 years old. Like many of you, you know how it is around that time. You still one foot in, one foot out of a lot of things. But now at this day and age, as a father of two, and as a developed person, I feel like yoga now, in this point of my life, can be more vital, than ever. And so many other people that's in their 30s, 40s, and so on, yoga can be extremely beneficial. And today, we're going to be talking about the fundamentals of yoga. What is yoga? And what do you use it for? Because we got so many preconceived notions about yoga. And when you hear somebody talk about yoga, you think that it's like a hippie, up in the clouds, super blissful, you know what I mean? Not really considering the actual science behind yoga, because yoga is a science. It's not a spirituality. It's not a religion. None of that. Yoga itself is actually a science. So that's what we want to get into today. Check it out. All right, so before I get into, the whole science behind yoga, I first want to acknowledge who the credits belong to. Now, the words that I'm going to bring to you all today are not my words. They're not going to be my words. They're all going to be coming from this book called the Shivananda Companion. Now, I believe there's not a single author to this. It seems like there are several authors. But anyways, check out this book right here. So for those who are interested in the science of yoga, please check out this book. Now, another thing, before we get into the science, I just want to pay the homage to Shivananda himself. Now, I just want to remind you, just like with many religions and spiritual practices and many belief systems, there's always a figure behind these religions, or one person who we give the homage to. Now, that's great, but you also have to keep in mind that that one person is just an example for you and what you can become and what you have inside of you. Now, we should never be giving, praises and only praises just to one man or any man, period, because we all are the same. So I just want you to keep that in mind. So among yoga, there are many types. For example, Vinyasa, Hatha Yoga, Shivananda Yoga. Now, Shivananda Yoga was coined by the man Swami Shivananda himself, who basically came into yoga with a doctorate degree in education and renounced his prior life and brought his education and merged it in to what we have here, Shivananda. So I'm going to begin at the introduction. All the excerpts that I bring and read to you all here, I think, are very important and give you a basic grasp of what this thing called yoga is. For a lot of you who don't know, anyone can practice yoga. You don't need special equipment or clothes. It's just a small amount of space and a strong desire for a healthier, more fulfilled life. The yoga postures or asanas exercise every part of the body, stretching and toning the muscles and joints, the spine, and the entire skeletal system. And they work not alone on the body's frame, but on the internal organs, glands, and nerves as well, keeping all systems in radiant health. By releasing physical and mental tension, they also liberate vast resources of energy. The yogic breathing exercises known as pranayama revitalize the body and help to control the mind, leaving you feeling calm and refreshed, while the practice of positive thinking and meditation gives increased clarity, mental power, and concentration. Yoga is a complete science of life that originated in India many thousands of years ago. It is the oldest system of personal development in the world, encompassing body, mind, and spirit. The ancient yogis had a profound understanding of man's essential nature and of what he needs to live in harmony with himself and his environment. They perceived the physical body as a vehicle, with the mind as the driver, the soul as man's true identity and action, emotion and intelligence as the three forces which pull the body, vehicle. In order for there to be integrated development, these three forces must be in balance, taking into account the interrelationship between body and mind. The yogis formulated a unique method for maintaining this balance, a method that combines all the movements you need for physical health with the breathing and meditation techniques that ensure peace of mind. Many people are first drawn to yoga as a way to keep their bodies fit and supple, good to look at and to live in. Others come seeking help or relief for a specific complaint like tension or backache. Some are merely impelled by a sense that they are not getting as much out of life as they could be. Whatever your reason, yoga can be a tool, an instrument for you, giving you both what you came for and more. To understand what yoga is all about, you need to experience it for yourself. At first glance, it seems to be little more than a series of strange physical postures, which keep the body lean and flexible. But in time, anyone who continues with regular practice becomes aware of a subtle change in their approach to life. For through persistently toning and relaxing the body and stilling the mind, you begin to glimpse a state of inner peace, which is your true nature. Your true nature. It is this that constitutes the essence of yoga. This self-realization that we are all seeking, consciously or unconsciously, and towards which we are all gradually evolving. It can bring your mind and thoughts under control. There is literally no limit to what you can do, since it is only our illusions and preconceptions that hold us back and prevent us from fulfilling ourselves. The history of yoga. The origins of yoga are shredded in the mist of time, for yoga is regarded as a divine science of life revealed to enlightened sages in meditation. The oldest archaeological evidence of its existence is provided by a number of stone seals showing figures in yogic postures, excavated from the Indus Valley and thought to date from around 3000 BC. Yoga is first mentioned in the vast collections of scriptures called the Vedas, portions of which date from at least 2500 BC. Now, my favorite part. What does yoga mean? What does the word mean for my etymologists out there? Can anybody tell me? I can tell us. The meaning of yoga. The underlying purpose of all the different aspects of the practice of yoga is to reunite the individual self with the absolute or pure consciousness. In fact, the word yoga means literally joining. Union with this unchanging reality liberates the spirit from all sense of separation, freeing it from the illusion of time, space, and causation. It is our own ignorance, our inability to discriminate between the real and unreal, that prevents us from realizing our true nature. The manifest universe is only a superimposition on the real. It is projected on the screen of reality, much as a movie is projected on a screen at the cinema. Just as, walking in the dark, we may mistake a piece of rope for a snake. So without illumination, we mistake the unreal for the real. We superimpose or project our own illusions on the real world. I'm going to stop here. For those who are watching, make sure you soak all of this up, because I don't care wherever stage you are in your life, wherever I am. I read this thing many times, but every time I read it, there's one word or one sentence that I may just need for that day, for today. So listen closely, because this is not, like I said, these aren't my words. These are composed by many authors, many writers, many practitioners of the science. Stuff is no joke. And as you can see, it's talking about more than the science that you know in school. This is more than just chemistry, more than a bunch of names and stuff like that. This is things that you can actually apply to your life and can actually resonate with. Back to the science. The illusory nature of temporal reality is reflected in the search of modern science for the ultimate indivisible particle of matter. This has led to the realization that matter and energy are interchangeable, that the semblance of solidity we perceive in matter is created by movement or vibration. Listen close. We see a moving fan as a whole circle. Most of what we perceive as solid is in fact empty space. If we were to take away all the space from all the atoms in our bodies, retaining only the non-space, we would not even be able to see what was left. So, in other words, as I like to say, everything around us is an illusion. And just like they teach us in school, for example, the phrase, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Among that energy, there's things that we can't see going on that we believe is not existent. So therefore, if we can't see something, we think it doesn't exist. But in fact, that's untrue. And more than likely, everything that you do see around you is really non-existent. Everything is interchangeable energy, in other words. I digress. The creation of Maya. In yoga philosophy, there was originally only the self, undifferentiated energy, infinite, no limitations, unchanging and formless. The process of differentiation, which has led to the manifest world, the physical world, in other words, is described in several different ways. First, there was spirit. Then came the big sound. In other words, the Big Bang, which caused the evolution of the objective universe, the manifest world we perceive. These two qualities, these two principles, when they are reunited and the illusion is no more, that is when the state of superconsciousness is attained. Now let's talk about karma and reincarnation. To a yogi, body and mind are part of the illusory world of matter with a limited lifespan, but the spirit is eternal and passes on when one body wears out to another. As the Bhagavad Gita said, which is an ancient text, an ancient Hindu text, sort of like the Christian Bible to them. The Bhagavad Gita says, just as a man casts off worn clothes and puts on new ones, so also the embodied self, the soul, casts off worn bodies and enters others which are new. Simply saying, when you pass, it will just be like changing your clothes into another body. Through the cycle of reincarnation, we draw nearer to reuniting with the self within, as the veil of ignorance grows thinner. Central to yogic thought is the law of karma. I cannot emphasize karma enough in today's world because everybody has heard karma. You always hear the phrase karma is a B word. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to use curse words. But in fact, karma is nothing negative at all. Karma is simply action and reaction. So we always bring up the word karma with a negative connotation, when in fact, there's nothing negative about it at all, and it can be very positive. So keep that in mind. Central to yogic thought is the law of karma, of cause and effect, action and reaction. Every action and thought bears fruit, whether in this life or future lives. Now think about that. How can I affect a future life? Well, if you are a parent out there, think about something that you do right now can affect your children's lives, and their children's lives, and their children's lives, and their children's lives. That's karma. Karma is simply a law of nature, a universal law. Whatever you put out shall come back, or shall have a domino effect. Simple as that. Stop looking at karma as a negative thing. We reap what we sow, molding our future by what we do and think in the present, not in the past, not of the past. Everything in the present moment. Namaste. Give thanks. So that's a short little conversation on what yoga is, where did it come from, some of the laws and principles of yoga, and the science behind it. So I hope everyone that was watching, you have a better understanding of what yoga is, because man, people are so trendy, you know, and I'm pretty sure we've always been like this. But remember, know the difference between the real and the unreal. The reality versus the illusion. The self, the true self versus the ego. Remember these things. I hope I was able to inspire somebody to go out there and try yoga. We're going to have a lot more conversations because, you know, like I said, at this day and age, I've realized how powerful of a tool it can be. And I'm trying to regain the strength of controlling the mind. And I know it's so many others out there that are trying to do the same thing, trying to have a healthier body, trying to, you know, understand what it's about. Because you have all these people that are, you know, promoting it now. And that's a good thing. But at the same time, with illusion and reality, and this time of information, there's going to be a lot of things you have to weed through. And my whole point of making this video was to explain that yoga is a science. It's a very deep science. And yes, back to the origins of yoga, I just want to bring a point to this real quick. And the book here, remember, none of these words were mine. They were all the books. I'll cut in a little bit just with a little conversation just to add on. But most of these words were from the book. And in the book, it says it originated in India. But there's evidence of people doing yoga in the pyramids of Egypt. There's evidence of people doing yoga and motions like it all the way in the Americas, all over the world around the same time. I don't know if you caught, but around 3000 BC, 4000 BC, and even before. So remember, these fads and trends, you have to weed through them. And this is what I'm here for. I took a class when I was 19. I messed around with it, didn't really take it in, soak it in. I took it for granted. But when I came back and created this Instagram page, this was one of my dedications, to give some information on. I got a lot of friends that on so many things, they always ask me to share some information. So here y'all go. I got more jewels coming for y'all, so stay tuned. Namaste.